Warning. The following video presentation contains scenes of extreme deliciousness. Failure to either eat first or bring a snack to consume during the presentation could result in wanting to lick the screen or in some way act the fool. Ain't nobody want that. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, boys and ghouls. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? DK's making a snack today. Shove it right into your mouth. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? Is he making it for me? DK's making a snack today. It's time for tactical snacking with DK.
What's happening, people? It's been a hot minute. I think it's been a week, actually. Yeah, because Tuesday, the internet was being disagreeable, and I ended up recording what I made, still working on editing the video a bit before putting it up, so I need to take care of that. But, you know, there was that. And then Thursday was Thursday. Yeah, that was, oh yeah, we still gotta take Mrs. Weso's car over. Need to...
Across the street neighbors asking for some quick help.
Oh, okay. So, I'm like, what is going on here? Anyways, Mrs. Weso's heading across the street to help the neighbor directly across with something or other, I don't know. But, anyways, here we are. Face to face, a couple of silver spoons. But yeah, it's been a bit of a week, but thankfully, the weekend is here. We're about halfway through the July, sumo tournament in Nagoya, that basho. Hey, Scott2572, how's it going, man? So we've had that, which has been good, and it's been a really interesting tournament so far. Some of the favorites haven't been performing as well. Some underdogs have been performing super well. And it's been interesting. There's been a number of upsets, especially like on how day one that the one current Yokozuna, who's basically at the top of the sumo chain in terms of ranking. So it's like Yokozuna, then underneath it is Ozeki. The Yokozuna battled the top-seeded Ozeki, and the Ozeki was not expected to win at all. And he took the Yokozuna down on day one, which just was like, what is happening? So that was kind of exciting. But at any rate, it's been hot, too. It's been pretty hot this week. I mean, today's been kind of odd because it was supposed to hit 82, but for us at least, the peak heat of the day doesn't normally hit till about 6 or 7 p.m., which is odd, but that's when the peak hit usually hits. And it's been really overcast today. So, hey, Ladintha, what's going on? Welcome. So it's actually been somewhat cool, but overall it's been a really kind of hot week, and so I was thinking, I don't really want to warm the place up with using the oven a heck of a lot, so I wanted to minimize using any kind of heat source, and that involved, what can we make? Sandwiches was initially what came to mind, because We had a couple of avocados that are now perfect, so we'll end up using those. And Mrs. Hueso suggested making bats, as we'd call them, bacon, avocado, tomato, because normally we don't end up putting lettuce on. But one cannot live on bacon, avocado, tomato alone, and so ended up sous videing a couple of chicken breasts yesterday, and so we'll slice those up, and we'll put some other stuff on there, but we'll get to that. But the other thing that I got thinking was, okay, well, what goes really well with a sandwich? Well, I got chips, so, that's great, but soup is, pretty commonly consumed along with a sandwich. But again, didn't really want to utilize a whole lot of heat sources, and so I got thinking, well, what about a chilled soup? At least here in the U.S., the idea of chilled soups is something that people kind of because for most people in the U.S. at least, the concept of soup is something that you eat piping hot, and that's just kind of the way it is. However, other people in the world have decided, that's not necessarily the case. And in fact, the first cold soup that I ever had, which was a very much of a mind bender for me, it's a French soup called vichyssoise. And that really kind of changed my way of thinking when it came to that sort of thing. And then, of course, probably the most famous cold soup in the world is gazpacho, which is of Spanish origin, and it's effectively a liquid salad. It's really what it is. And there's a bunch of different styles, especially regionally speaking, when it comes to gazpacho. You find that a bulk of them usually involve day-old bread that ends up being soaked and put into it to kind of fortify it in order to make it a really kind of a hearty thing. It was meant basically for people working in the field, so then that way it was a quick, cool, nutritious meal, really, that was super easy to make. The version that we're going to be making is not does not involve bread. It's going to be purely vegetation based. The link for it should be there. I'm basing it off of Alton Brown's gazpacho recipe. I'm not doing it exactly his way. There's a couple of things that I'm going to do a little bit differently, and I'll kind of explain why once we get there. But I enjoy gazpacho, or at least what we think of traditionally as gazpacho. There's actually normally when you think gazpacho, hey, lumpy pickle, welcome, buddy. You think of kind of the tomato cucumber based gazpacho. That's normally what you think of. There's actually a white version that involves soaking almonds and grapes. It's really interesting. I've made it, and it's different. It is very different. I don't know if I was necessarily ready for it at the time, but I have had it and I have made it, and that could be something that we do down the line at some point. But we're going to be sticking to kind of traditional tomato, because I like salads, and gazpacho is good, so we're going to do that. And then to finish off for dessert, we're going to be making some ice cream with science. And I keep saying we're making it with science because I don't own an ice cream churn. Ice cream churns take a long time usually. And, well, I just don't happen to have it. However, what I do have is access to something much colder and works much quicker. Sadly, no, not liquid nitrogen. Liquid nitrogen would be phenomenal. However, getting a hold of liquid nitrogen tends to be a little bit trickier, and it also involves needing a specialized thermos, basically, which I don't have. And they run about $350. So, if I was using liquid nitrogen on a daily basis or something like that, then yeah, totally, I would absolutely invest in something like that. But normally chemical supply companies frown upon you rolling up with a regular thermos and be like, yo, can you, fill me up with liquid nitrogen, call it good. But what I do have easy access to is dry ice, and that's what we're going to be using to make the ice cream. And I want to make the ice cream first, so then that way we can let it chill for longer, and it has a chance to actually firm up. And so I have my cooler here. Ooh, the outside even feels cold. So I picked up about a little less than 2 hours ago a block of dry ice from my local market, which thankfully it's pretty easily accessible where I live. Where I grew up, though, getting hold of dry ice was way more difficult. It wasn't something that every supermarket just had. And even here, it's age restricted. So thankfully, being older, it's really kind of a non-issue. But I totally understand wanting to keep it out of reach of straight up children, because it can be a dangerous thing to work with. People can get frostbite and, develop necrosis because of it. And you can absolutely make bombs with it. Not that I've ever done that before. Not that I've ever thrown one into a pool before, ever. So we're going to make the ice cream first. And thankfully, the ice cream is super easy. No real special equipment is needed for it other than usually I would recommend a metal mixing bowl because it can withstand the temperature change. I would not recommend using glass just because the sudden temperature drop can cause the glass to break. So if you have a metal mixing bowl, you can do that. And then if you have a metal whisk, you can use that. And you can make the ice cream super easy, and it's no problem. I, however, have a KitchenAid, and so I'm going to use it. And that's what I've got set up here. So I got my KitchenAid set up, and I actually found this shield, which I'd forgotten that I had, and it was socked off into a drawer somewhere. And so this is going to be a good opportunity to actually use it. And I have on my beater blade as opposed to the whisk attachment. Even though the whisk attachment seems like the natural kind of choice to make the ice cream, in this particular circumstance, I actually want the blade attachment to scrape along the side, so then that way it's continuously pulling material off of the side of the work bowl here. So that's what we're going with. Recipe is super easy. It is on the Discord. Let's hit that command again for those that want to play along at home. And I can switch tabs so then that way I can read along with the recipe, because I don't mostly have it memorized. We're looking to make ish. It's going to be a little bit more than a quart, maybe a quart and a half or so, depending on how much more volume it ends up developing. I've not actually made it with dry ice before, so I'm super excited for this. But all indications say that it should go very quickly once we get everything into the work bowl and mixing. The couple of pro tips that I do have are, after adding the dry ice and getting to the right consistency, before packing it into a container or attempting to eat it, do let all the vapors dissipate, because that's straight up CO2. And the last thing you want to do is have any residual dry ice granules in there in your mouth, because it can burn your tongue, and it is not something that I would recommend eating, just for your own safety. So, anyways, all right, let's get out the dairy, because we need 2 cups of heavy cream, and we need 2 cups of whole milk. And thankfully, the heavy cream comes in a pint container, so no measuring necessary of that. And these have just been in the fridge. Okay. So there's that. And since I have it, I'm just going to add milk to that fill line. Keeping an eye on it. Trying to see down. There we go. Okay. I'm just using whole milk. I don't see any reason why you couldn't use like soy milk or almond milk or, you know, some other dairy alternative for this if you wanted to. Where's the heavy metal cream? Yeah, that's liquid mercury. All right. So then we need to consider team fruit. And I was kind of thinking, because I mean, we could certainly make like a chocolate. We can make a straight vanilla, which would be super easy at this point. But I thought, you know, a fruit-based ice cream I thought would be really good for today. So I've got some peaches, which I'm going to put in. I got some raspberries and got some strawberries. I'm not going to use all of the fruit because what we're aiming for is about a cup and a half of fruit. And I'm just going to get them blitzed up in the mini prep here. Millions of peaches. Yeah, exactly. But for that, I'm probably only going to need one peach because I kind of want to even it out. Peaches for me. So we'll give these a wash and get them in there. And I'm also going to add the 1 cup of sugar that I have listed in the recipe to the fruit, so then that way it has a chance to kind of macerate and kind of dissolve a little bit before dumping it into the dairy. So let me go give all of this a quick wash, and I will be right back. And then we'll get this going. Okay. Now, when it comes to the peach, there's kind of the question, you know, to peel or not to peel. Macerate is an underutilized word. The mixer needs some googly eyes. Yeah, probably. I had thought about like a custom paint job years ago. But yeah, googly eyes would actually be pretty funny. So, yeah, so anyways, there's kind of the big question of like whether or not to peel the peach. Some people don't particularly care for the skins. Other people don't care. I don't really care. But if the texture of the texture of the skin in the ice cream is something that's going to bother you, then go ahead and peel it if you want. This one feels like it's pretty firm peach. Yeah, and it also doesn't feel like it's freestone, which is kind of a bummer. Freestone meaning, there are some, like peaches and nectarines, that, for whatever reason, the particular variety, if you were to, you know, slice it and then twist it, it releases from the seed really easily, whereas others are cling fruit, as they're called. Yes, I do. I like my peaches firm. This is true. So it just means that we have to cut the fruit off. So, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. I don't normally cut. Most of the time when I eat peaches, I just like pick it up and eat it. I don't normally slice stuff off, but what I will do, however, is, so I'm just, hopefully it's on camera here. What I'm doing is going around and I've cut it from like north to south. If you think of a peach bit like a globe, you have like the North Pole and the South Pole. I go north to south all the way around in 4 different directions, so I've got like 8 slices through here. And then I'll go through the equator. And I'm just letting the knife kind of ride where the seed is. It's coming off. It's got a pretty good flavor. It's not super sweet. There's a bit of a tartness to it, which I like, but I know it's not necessarily for everyone. Something that you can do, and I'm kind of tempted to do myself, is instead of kind of, not really, I guess sort of pureeing up the bulk of the fruit, is keep some back and just kind of finely dice it up. So then that way you can mix it in, and that way you have like little fruit chunks. So it's just kind of be, it's really, what you want. So I'm thinking I am going to reserve some of the peach chunks here. We'll dice them up. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Raspberries. These are pretty light, which is kind of a bummer. They didn't really have any super ripe ones at the market when I went. But there are a couple of places around here that one can go and actually pick raspberries. There was a place that we went to a couple of years ago that, just had, I think it was like 4 rows that were like 100 yards long each. And you could just, and the bushes were probably about 6 feet tall. They had them on trellises and stuff. And you could just pick as much as you want, and you paid for them by pound. And they're pretty excellent. So we should see if that is something that we can go do, because that would be good. Okay, thinking about that. I am kind of ishing it when it comes to the amount of fruit. Only because I got enough dry ice. It'll freeze up. It'll be fine. Okay. Ooh. Look at that. Look to see if that mini star tip was handy. There we go. I need to go find a baking supply place and get a couple of different sizes of star tips just for stuff like this. One of the coolest little pro tips that I learned was using a star tip in order to take out the little bits in the strawberries. I'll keep a couple back to go in as chunks. Okay. I don't want to put whole strawberries in there. I do need to chunk them just a little bit. Let's hang on to those two. Okay. So let's get this out. And put the strawberries away real quick, and we'll measure out a cup of sugar. I'm not going to put it in immediately because I kind of want to break down some of the fruit first, and then we'll add the sugar in. It's a little full, but a little bit additional is just fine. Okay. Sugar measured out, ready to go. That ready to be pureed. Okay. You're back.
And I got a present.
Oh? What?
I kid you not, I got us a TV. Woo! I was being a good neighbor and said, "What are you doing with that?" And she says, "You can have it."
Nice.
So you'll have to install that later.
Yeah. Huzzah! New chat monitor.
Woo!
For free.
For free.
For free.
I offered to pay her, but she says, "No, you just owe me a favor."
Okay.
Like done.
Yeah. I'm down. Okay. Let's get this. I've got my hand mixer. You know what? It goes to 12, but I'm going to turn it down to 11 on principle alone. And let's show it to the camera just to verify if it focuses. See, it does go to 12, but I currently have it turned to 11 because little details are important. All right. Oh, good. All right. So we've pulsed it a little bit. Still got some big chunks in there. That is okay, but it's starting to break down. You can see on the side. So let's add that sugar in. Because what that's really going to do is start to cause the juices in the fruit to really be drawn out. Because sugar is very hygroscopic, which means that it attracts moisture. And so salt's kind of the same way, where it will pull like moisture out of the air. Sugar will do the same thing. So the more you know. All right. Swear I've used this before. Okay, here we go. All right. Well, it looks like there's still a couple of chunks in there. I'm guessing of peach. Yeah, they're like little rounded off bits of peach, which I'm actually okay with, because looking at how much of the peach I had set aside, there wasn't a heck of a lot. Mmm, that's good. I'm just kind of rough chopping it, really. And by rough chopping, I mean precisely going through the middle 3 ways. It's kind of funny, when I was working at Whole Foods in the cheese department, one of the things that, common duties was cutting the cheese. And yes, there were many jokes made, because, we were all 5, really. But me being me, when it came to, cutting the wheels of cheese and cutting pieces, I just out of habit would try and cut like these perfect pieces. And it was not an uncommon occurrence, once pieces went to get wrapped, that I would have multiple pieces that weighed the exact same amount. And I have pictures of, here's 4 or 5, wedges of cheese that I've recently cut, wrapped, and priced, that all have the exact same price on it. And my boss at the time was saying, don't do that. Like, I even would bring a protractor. That's how, that's how exact I was getting about things, is I would literally bring a protractor to measure out the angles in order to have more even pieces. But what he was saying is that what you need to do is actually have a variety of sizes and prices, because, not everybody's looking for, oh, I'm just going to grab a piece of cheese. Sometimes, they want a little bit, sometimes they want a lot, and so you have to mix it up. And that was kind of a hard lesson for me, only because it's like, no, I want perfect pieces. So. Although whenever a cheese came up that I forget what the exact weight or the price was. There was a particular weight and price combo that, if done correctly, would yield pieces of cheese that cost $6.66. And once I figured out what the per pound price was, I knew exactly what weight that I needed to get to, and so it became a game to try to, cut pieces of cheese of the beast. So that it was just a game that I would play with myself, basically. All right, let's add our fruit puree. Consequently, this same ice cream making technique will work with making a sorbet if you wanted to omit dairy completely. Get our fruit bits in there. Miss any. Still got some residual puree. Okay. Alright, so I'm just going to give this a quick stir. Just so then that way everything is kind of initially mixed together before adding all the dry ice. Alright. Let's clean this up real quick. Just so then that way we can start playing with the dry ice. All right. I think you're going to be quite pleased with the results.
I'm sure I'll love it.
She says that with a voice of apprehension. Yes.
No.
No? Perhaps? That's how it was going. Okay. I got my big old terry mitts on. Get out this chunk of dry ice, which is just solidified carbon dioxide. It cost money? I don't remember the exact cost. What I will say, just for the sake of those that are like, hey, I want to make this at home. So unfortunately, like, I can't just, like, oh, hey, give me a pound, or give me,
It's not cheese to be blocked up.
yeah, it's not something that can be blocked up. You have to take it in whatever size hunk that they give it to you in. Or at least that's the way that I'm able to get it. So, it varies. This chunk was probably $18, I think. Although what amount that I need is maybe a quarter of this, really. Well, the rest of it is going to stay in the cooler for the time being, because it's what we're going to put the ice cream into afterwards in order to cool down even further and solidify more.
Okay, so we'll use it all.
Yes, we'll end up using it all, but it's not all going to be used for this purpose. Ooh, let me take the smaller bits. Even through these terry gloves, like, I can feel a bit of cold. So, okay. This is going back in here. Ooh. Oh, yeah. I was thinking, like, a couple of Dr. Peppers would be good.
Can we help make that happen?
Sure. Okay. Slight pro tip when it comes to crushing this stuff. I'm sealing this bag most of the way, but I'm not sealing it all the way, just so then that way, in the process of crushing this, any additional, like, vapors have a place to escape, because... The vapors! So...
Come on, pass. Getting Dr. Pepper.
Alright. Here we go. Yeah. I don't know if the mixer's in the way. Let's move it. But in doing so, like, you can see, like, the vapors all coming out there. Go ahead and pass.
What do I do with these?
Put them in the cooler.
Put them in the cooler.
I'm gonna grab
Is it
them.
gonna cause them to explode?
Well, that's why we're setting a timer.
Good. We explode stuff.
It's been known to happen. If you would set a timer for, let's say, 15 minutes?
Sure. Stop.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, see how even by crushing it a little bit, the CO2's, sublimated. Sublimation is just a science term meaning it transitions from a solid to gas form, bypassing a liquid form. Because that is a thing that happens. Mostly a sandy texture here. So now we mix, and this shouldn't take very long. It should be a pretty quick transformation from this liquid to a kind of a solid form, but we're gonna turn it on low. We made a mess. That is awesome. Science is fun, kids.
And you wonder why I hesitated.
That's amazing.
Can we touch it?
Yeah, should be able to.
Ooh.
Very bubbly because of the sudden rush of CO2. It's a lot.
Hey, it tastes pretty good.
No, that's good.
I brought some towels.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's awesome. Welcome to our kitchen.
That should be the screenshot.
Screenshot. It's alive. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use this. Uh-oh.
Why is your phone on?
I don't know. Probably your mom.
That is hilarious.
It doesn't matter, baby. Kaboom!
All right. Like, who am I kidding? Just grab the roll. I'm going to have to give this mixer a deep clean. But that is hilarious. I did preface this by saying I've not done this before. That's okay. This is how we learn doing science, everybody. Oh, it's barely visible on camera. Hey, baby girl. Thanks for the follow. You picked a great time to follow. We are having fun here. So, I don't know if you can see the surface of this. It's still like bubbling away. I'm just trying to get it to release as much as possible. At the bottom, it feels like it's pretty solid. Like, I have a feeling we're going to need to take a break. This stuff, yeah. You know, there are a number of people that I can think of that if this had happened to them, they would be freaking out or crying or something like that. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting here laughing at them like, yes, it's a horrible mess. Yes, I'm going to probably...
Can't be cleaned.
It's nothing that can't be cleaned. Like, this is something that will probably end up taking me easily an hour to detail, which I'm not about to do now because ain't nobody want to see that.
Don't they, though?
No, ain't nobody want to see that. So I'm thinking we should move this to a different location.
What is this?
The mixer.
Okay. So we're done mixing for now?
Yes, we're done mixing for now.
Okay.
So we're gonna move the patient to a different ward. That ward being the table here.
So is it done being mixed?
No, we're not done yet.
Oh.
Because it's not the right consistency. I will let you stand over there if you'd like, so I'll stand at the very end here. Thank you.
Yeah, never a dull moment in our house.
Never a dull moment.
That's why you heard hesitation. Ooh, spooky.
Spooky.
My hands are all sticky now.
I know.
It's bubbling.
Yes, it is.
Bubble, bubble, toil, and trouble.
That's what dry ice does when you add it to a liquid.
I've never really played with dry ice. I've
really?
only ever seen it on the telly. Yeah, Halloween, it's in some drink that's bubbling over. It is a learning experience, Pickle. And the mess isn't that bad. Look, a towel or two. Nothing the washing machine can't handle.
We'll spray it down and give it a proper clean.
Which, if you've got that, I can do that now.
The spray is like right there.
Life is fun.
It's an adventure.
Yeah. Well, now you know.
Now I know. And knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe.
We just need, like, half as much next time.
Clearly.
Do you need a tag team on the stirring?
No, I got the stirring. I am just trying to get it to, get the bubbles and the gas out before I try lidding it up.
It has a good flavor.
It does. I haven't even added vanilla.
Oh.
I forgot to add vanilla. I don't know if I need to add vanilla, to be honest. Maybe a smidgen of vanilla. So I'm going to let that, bubble away. I'm alive! And then it freaks out and starts saying, "Kill me now! My cursed existence!"
I'm here for your soul.
Yeah.
And then the apocalypse began. Sorry.
And here I was thinking that Rachel Ray brand EVOO was the sign of the apocalypse that was upon us. Who knew it would be me trying to make ice cream with dry ice? Who'd have thought?
It's true. Like Pickle said, it's not an adventure if everything goes right.
That's true.
Yeah, life would be pretty boring. Hey, and now you know. Don't fill it up as much.
Yeah, and if this were a YouTube video, that whole thing would have been edited out. You're like, look, it's all perfect and everything is wonderful. In this case, you get to watch, me having to sticky hands, clean up the kitchen, apologize for opening up a portal to hell inadvertently.
The back wall, not that you can see, are the knives that are hanging on a knife rack.
Oh, there's some splatter.
There's lots of splatter over all of them.
Oh, the knives are going to need to be cleaned.
That's okay. Peach-flavored C4. Today on Tactical Snacking, DK makes exploding ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like a violent exothermic, a violent endothermic reaction would do that. Exothermic being in like an explosion, creating heat, whereas endothermic would suck heat in.
You're just going to keep adding dry ice until it's the consistency you want?
Yeah, I mean, we're getting close.
Yeah. I like how it's got a mind of its own.
Yeah. Where's the rolling? I don't know where it is.
I don't know. I should get out of your way, though.
Yeah, but don't you want a front seat experience?
Yeah.
That's right. You too can have a front row seat to this, dumpster fire.
I'm like ready to pounce with the towels.
I'm just trying to get.
As soon as the stream's over, they're gonna go right into the washing machine.
True.
On this episode, we made dirty laundry. I don't know if you can see what he's doing.
I'm beating the dry ice, trying to make it a finer powder so there's not bigger chunks.
She was like a Michael Jackson song. Just beat it, beat it.
And that's a quick way to get muted and DMCA'd. Alright. Thinking we can put that into the cooler.
On top of the Dr. Pepper!
Yeah. See, we got a little bit from... See?
Is it good? That is good. I don't think you need vanilla. It would be better if there was vanilla, don't get me wrong.
We
but
can add vanilla, it's easy.
it's not too late.
Yep, that's vanilla. I got a couple of jars here that have vanilla in them.
His sister went to Madagascar and brought back vanilla beans.
Yeah, she would go to Madagascar for work. Is it fizzy at all? A little bit, yeah, because you can still see like the bubbles in the vapor, but see the consistency? How it's definitely thickened up. Like the bottom is fully solid.
Do you want a spoon or are you gonna just pour?
I was just gonna pour it. To be honest, like I could, if I really wanted to, we could flick a bean in if we wanted to.
It's your call.
Because flicking beans are always fun.
We're gonna flick beans.
We're gonna
people.
flick beans, people!
So, we're done?
Well, I need to pour a little in, but then we'll flick the bean in too.
And how much are you pouring in?
I was aiming for about 2 teaspoons.
Yeah, so these are Madagascar beans that have been soaking in various liquors.
Either vodka or rum.
It started with a vodka I brought back when I went to Russia. And then, sometimes it'll top off with rum. So then, if we need a lot, we'll usually do vodka. Because rum will change the flavor a little bit. And if you want that, great. But
this is looking pretty good.
Yeah, this vanilla is fantastic.
That's the Dr. Pepper timer. So
Glad you took the trash out.
yeah, me too.
Oh, look, the bag's it's
Inflated.
inflated. Yes, like a balloon.
For those that have never seen a vanilla bean,
This is a
or
vanilla
worked with
bean.
it, this is a vanilla bean. This is me flicking the bean. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to split it down the middle and then use the back of the knife to scrape out all the seeds and everything. I kind of want something smoother than that cutting board.
Another cutting board. This lid. It's pretty smooth.
It is pretty smooth, but it's got that giant bump in the middle.
Oh.
You know what? Let's try parchment. The reason why I was kind of complaining is that, I mean, this has got kind of a textured surface, which for most purposes is just fine.
This, you mean the cutting board?
Yeah, the cutting board. I mean, and it's for 99.9 to 10 places percent of what I'm doing, that's fantastic. However, if I'm trying to extract stuff from the inside of a vanilla bean, the problem is the caviar, as it's called,
I'm gonna stick my.
will actually get stuck in the little bumps, and so that's
And then you lose the goodness.
exactly.
Yeah, because vanilla beans aren't the cheapest.
No, they're not, especially not anymore.
But it is totally worth it making your own. If you could,
Yeah,
highly recommend you make your own vanilla extract.
yeah. There's some of that caviar now that will drop in.
It's like a weird goo.
It is. Well, these beans are. I don't even know how old anymore.
They are a few years old. And yeah, the jar, I mean, technically maybe it cost a small fortune to make. You want to use a quality vodka. You
Well,
don't want a cheap one.
okay. So this is something that I've thought a lot about and everything. When it comes to making vanilla extract, it's not so much the cost of the vodka that's the important factor. The important factor is whether or not it's a truly a neutral vodka, as opposed to something that's got kind of its own distinctive flavor. The reason being is that you're using the vodka as a solvent. I mean, that's really what you're doing. And so, in order to maximize the actual vanilla flavor, you want to have something that has as little flavor as possible. The textbook definition of vodka is a colorless, odorless, tasteless alcohol. That's what the textbook definition actually is. Most distilleries, when they make a vodka, they'll end up having a flavor from whatever grain or potato or whatever that gets added to it.
Thanks, Minimal.
Mina Ninja 321451. Thank you so much for the follow. Hey, Accidental Chaos, what's going on?
Yeah, he's got a question.
Aren't vanilla beans like bitterly sweet, or am I thinking about cocoa beans? I think you're thinking about cocoa beans. Vanilla beans by themselves, I mean, this one tastes like vodka, kind of, really, at this point. But this is not something I would throw away. This is something that I would actually, I don't know if I still have it. It might be in the other room.
Jar of sugar.
Yeah. So this husk here, perfect for throwing into like a jar of sugar and letting it. No, I think it might be in the next room. Probably about eye level for you towards the end.
Yep.
But yeah, you'll make vanilla sugar with it, and it's a perfect way to extend the use of it. I mean, here's some vanilla sugar that I made a while ago. Now there's a couple of big rocks in there from the moisture, but you can see kind of the black bits, and so I'll just tuck that in there and shake it around a bit, and then I'll, That way you have vanilla sugar for whatever it is that you want to make. Sprinkling onto fruit, for instance, is a fantastic use for it. So, alright, we should mix this in. Yeah, you can see all those little black specks from the caviar in there now.
Pepper! I gave it another 5 minutes.
Okay. Well, we set that time not really knowing, and also for safety reasons.
Because we have exploded cans before.
That has happened.
As you can tell, we explode things sometimes.
It happens.
That is pretty dang cold. They're not slushy, though.
Okay.
Do you want slushy, or do you want... Are you good?
Yes, I want slushy. Slushy Dr. Pepper is best Dr. Pepper.
Of course, now we can go to McDonald's and actually get slushy Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. But we have dry ice. We have cans of Dr. Pepper. We can.
Vanilla beans can be found, it's... Great question.
Did you
I'm
want
gonna
to
let
feel...
him answer.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, I think Amazon sells them, but
Yes.
the type of vanilla bean can matter?
So vanilla,
Maybe?
yes. There's a number of factors. So you have things like Madagascar vanilla beans. You have Tahitian vanilla beans.
Mexican.
And, well, yes, there are Mexican. However, Tahitian and Madagascar, they're really kind of the two varieties. The vanilla that comes out of Mexico, I believe, is technically of the Tahitian variety, but it's grown in Mexico.
That's good. Vanilla's better.
Where you get your beans is kind of important. I would not buy them from a normal retail establishment, because chances are they've been sitting on the shelf for a long time.
And they're going to charge you an obscene price.
They're going to charge you an obscene price. If you can find them online from a wholesaler, I would highly recommend that. There were a number of sellers on eBay that were pretty good. But vanilla beans are also graded. So think of it like it's the same thing with fruit grading by the USDA, like fancy versus, grade B or C or something like that. What you're looking for, if you're looking to make vanilla extract specifically, is you want extract grade. All that means is that they're not physically the prettiest of beans, and they're perfect for making vanilla extract with. The big, beautiful, perfect beans, those are usually reserved for restaurants, especially high-end restaurants, where the appearance of the vanilla bean actually makes a difference. Because usually their dessert program or something like that has need of perfect-looking beans. That's funny. So at the bottom, it's pretty solid. So I'm just trying to, wedge it out. But yeah, there's no need to, if you're just looking to make vanilla extract, there's absolutely no need to spend money on fancy beans. Because once the beans are actually harvested from the orchids themselves, they're set to cure regardless of what they look like. They're only graded after the curing process. So the curing process is usually just sun drying, just so we're clear. And since my sister was in Madagascar, they were pretty cheap. I mean, she literally brought home a kilo of them for me. It was kind of funny.
Cheap is the right word.
Well, okay, hang on.
Cheaper.
Relatively speaking, it was cheaper. Because every time a product changes hands, they got to upcharge in order to make their profit. I mean, that's just how it works. kind of thinking I need a metal spoon in order to get the stuff out of the bottom. I'm also thinking I need a bigger container. Oh, we're cracking the bottom. Because suddenly I'm seeing like bubbles and gas and...
What have we learned today, class?
When the internet says you should really make sure that the dry ice is in a sandy consistency, they weren't kidding. Because there's a larger chunk right there. Hi, little puppy. There we go.
Dry ice is exponential, and a little goes a long way.
Yes, that is exactly what we learned today. Oh, the consistency is good. Hey, we found another nugget. Yeah, this is totally the ASMR portion.
It tastes good.
It does. It tastes great. Okay. Yeah, it's got a nice pale pink color to it. Yeah, this is really a kind of a soft serve consistency, which I'm happy with. Because then we'll pop this into the cooler with the rest of that dry ice and let it chill down over the course of however long we're doing stuff. Yeah, and there's the chunk that's on the bottom still. Oop. You know what? That is thin metal. It is kind of sharp. There we go. Oh yeah, the stuff here at the bottom is nice and hard. A little too hard. But it is kind of perfect for a fully chilled taste test. I will say that much.
Next little chaos is, do you think it's gonna explode again?
Hope not. Mmm.
Oh, thanks. I was just gonna get it.
What?
Dry ice now.
Oh, was there?
Yeah.
Sorry, baby, I didn't mean to.
Is my stomach gonna explode?
No.
I took sort of a bite, dare I say, like I pushed it down and then I'm exhaling dry ice smoke. Oops.
Whoopsies.
Don't eat this. I mean, you can eat that. Don't eat dry ice. Do you want some help?
Now I'm just angry. No, I'm not.
Roar!
Roar! So angry.
Here. Cold Dr. Pepper.
Oh,
That'll make everything better.
totally.
Ready?
Oh, are we SMRing this? Oh, did.
Sublimation!
Alright, let's open this over this thing.
How come?
No incidents with mine, thank you very much.
It's because I'm a woman, isn't it?
Mm. Oh my gosh, could you imagine me with G Money's guns? Ugh. You know, it's funny. I remember when, before G Money started working out again, like with intent, and he was showing kind of the before and after pictures for the challenge that he was doing, and it was like before, it was just like, dude's handsome, you know, it looks good, you know, good for him, and then you see kind of the after shots of him working out and stuff, and you're like, oh my. And he's continued to work out, and it's, oh my, squared. Mrs. Hueso's commented on more than one occasion about the well done him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I agree. He's done quite well.
Yeah, he earned it, man.
Yeah, he worked hard. He put in the effort, you know, and he's seeing the results.
And so are we.
And so are we. I bent my spoon. I bent it back. Yeah, it's a cheap spoon. I think I paid $1. If that.
C4 ice cream.
Yeah.
Very simple. Don't be crazy here when it goes off.
Okay. I think that last little bit I'm gonna leave as an offering to the ice cream gods. Okay.
Nasty.
And that is now in. Okay. Cool. In the meantime, I'm gonna run my BRB screen real quick. Magic, exactly. I'm gonna run that real quick, do a quick wipe down of things, and then we'll be back to make the gazpacho. So I will be right back.
Hello, boys and ghouls. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? DK's making a snack today. Shove it right into your mouth. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? Is he making it for me? DK's making a snack today. It's time for tactical snacking with DK. Making a snack today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? DK's making a snack today. Shove it right into your mouth. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? Is he making it for me? DK's making a snack today. It's time for tactical snacking with DK. Making a snack today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? DK's making a snack today. Shove it right into your mouth. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? Is he making it for me? DK's making a snack today. It's time for tactical snacking with DK. Making a snack today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? DK's making a snack today. Shove it right into your mouth. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? Is he making it for me? DK's making a snack today. It's time for tactical snacking with DK. Making a snack today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? DK's making a snack today. Shove it right into your mouth. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? Is he making it for me? DK's making a snack today. It's time for tactical snacking with DK. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? DK's making a snack today. Shove it right into your mouth. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? Is he making it for me? DK's making a snack today. It's time for tactical snacking with DK. Making a snack today. What's it gonna be?
Okay. Hands are washed. We're cleaned up. I washed the a knife that I was going to use that needed to be washed due to the tactical nuclear nature of the ice cream. Oh, that was funny. Made me laugh. Hey! Red Kid? Yeah, Red Kid. Thanks for the follow. So now that the ice cream is in with the dry ice, chilling and firming up. What was that? The bang and mukbang. Yeah, exactly. Explosive mukbangs. Time to move on to the soup portion because that's actually going to need to chill also. So that is the other thing that we're going to be putting in here. Hey, Harkonnen, what's going on? Yeah, so do I, man. So do I. Because that would not be good. That would suck quite a bit. Soup is going to go in here with the ice cream to chill down. Since gazpacho is traditionally served chilled, and that's kind of what I want. Now, I will say before we start in on this gazpacho, first of all, I'd like to apologize to the country of Spain and all of its dead, living, and future residents, citizens, expats, etc. This isn't going to be 100% traditional gazpacho. I apologize. There is no offense intended. I am, however, making it kind of with what I got. So, at any rate, with with that in mind, okay, gazpacho. The recipe for it can be found there. And that is kind of the recipe that we're working with. However, there we go. I had it open in a different tab. I'm looking at it. There's a couple of things I'm going to do differently from this. In the recipe, one of the first steps is he has you get a pot of water on to boil, so then that way you can skin the tomatoes. Traditionally speaking, that is super common. Skinning the tomatoes, so then that way you don't have tomato skins in the gazpacho, just because it yields, generally speaking, a finer, more velvety texture, which is always a good thing. I hate peeling tomatoes, yea verily, and I have a really good blender, so I'm just going to pulverize the heck out of them. That's the
Proper destruction.
improper destructive form, since that's really kind of what this stream is all about today, is just, how much stuff can we destroy? So that's the number one difference. The number two difference is also in the recipe calls for the use of tomato juice, which, okay, cool. If you got it, sweet. Again, I've got a really good blender that is very good at liquefying things. So I'm just throwing in some additional tomatoes. Easy peasy. The other thing that he does is most of the vegetation when he makes it is diced up, added to a bowl, and then like the tomato juice, there's lime juice, Worcestershire sauce. He uses balsamic vinegar as opposed to the traditional sherry vinegar, vinagre de Jerez specifically, which I don't have any sherry vinegar. It's been a long time since I've had sherry vinegar. I like sherry vinegar, but it's not always necessarily the easiest of stuff to get a hold of. I mean, sure, Amazon, but if I can buy it in a store, like, and have my hands on it, that's my preferred method of getting a hold of it. The other thing is we're going to be adding a jalapeno, which, again, isn't really Spanish, per se. I'm sure there's a Spanish variety of pepper that would be added to it. I'm literally on the other side of the world, and it's, that's what I got. And so that's what I'm working with. My plan is that, yes, I do intend on having some of the vegetation finely diced up, so then that way the gazpacho has some chunks to it, but not necessarily super chunky, like a watery salsa. This one is more of, it's soup with some chunks as garnish and things. I do have basil that we'll end up chiffonading and then topping it off with when we're ready to eat. Chiffonade is just a fancy way of talking about slicing things into thin ribbons. That's all it is. And thankfully, slicing up basil is super simple to chiffonade, just because you take a couple of leaves, you stack it up, you roll it like a fatty or whatever, and then you just thinly slice it. That's all it is. It's really that simple. It just takes a little practice. No big deal. So that being the case, I'm going to start working my way through the recipe. One thing I do need to get, which I didn't get before I came back, is a sieve. Oh, might as well grab that. And a bowl for the sieve to sit on. And the reason why I want the sieve and the bowl for the sieve to sit on is because I am going to be de-seeding the tomatoes, and so, yes, I did. Yes, I did, Accidental Chaos. I was trying to explain it in terms that most people understand. I mean, how many people know how to roll a cigar? Not that many. How many people know how to roll a fatty? Way more. I'm just trying to put it into terms that people understand. That's all. I mean, whatever. Anyways, I am going to be pulling the seeds out. So the cores and everything I'm going to put into the sieve here. And then whatever juice is collected is going to go into the blender carafe here. So I've got the bulk of what I need set aside, ready to go. This is going to be what the soup ends up in. So let's get to it. The recipe calls for, I think, a single clove of garlic, which I always think is kind of cute. When it says, oh yeah, do 1 clove. Okay. I tend to like a little bit more, personally. I'm going to wait on doing up the jalapeno because for the garnishing bit, I do want a pretty fine dice on it. And I just assume wait to cut into that before, after I take care of everything else. So then that way it's kind of the last thing, and, working with capsaicin and all that. Which capsaicin, as speaking on a molecular level, is really kind of interesting. If you were to see a picture of what a capsaicin molecule looks like, it's a really long chain, and it's got a little, poking ends that come off of it, which makes it really sticky, meaning that it will adhere to a lot of things, and it also acts like kind of like a skeleton key to your tongue's taste receptors. So you know how your receptors will taste like sweet and salty and sour and bitter, right? So what capsaicin does is the skeleton key gets in there and it just registers pain. That's what it does, is it completely overloads the taste receptors, and just, instead of, oh, this is a sweet sensation, it's pain. And so that's literally what it does. And because it's as sticky as it is, it gets onto everything and becomes a difficult thing to get off, unless you're rolling with, pure grain alcohol actually is the best solvent for it, believe it or not. So let's see. Bell pepper wise, what does he say? Half cup of red bell pepper.
Marcona said the thing I love about capsaicin is that it's an evolutionary mechanism designed to keep the pepper creamy. If he was trying it, said, ooh, that's tasty.
Yeah, that's it exactly. It was totally the plant just evolving, going, I'm going to try and protect myself, so I'm going to create this, insanely painful substance, And then, yeah, sure enough, humans came along and was just like, yes, please, may I have another? So, kind of funny how that goes. Alright, so some of this I'm going to, well, actually, the top and the bottom here I'm not going to worry too much about. I'm just going to dice it up and then add it to the blender. But I am going to get some nicer bits out of that and then throw them directly into the container there. So then that way, and little bits are falling. Okay. That is in. Then for garnish wise, we'll do about that. I'll take off this white bit just because it's not the best thing to eat. So when I say it's not the best thing, it's just that it doesn't taste like anything. Going for pretty little cuts. Wait, what? Why does that sound like a Scott Connor comment?
Oh, why does it burn on the way out? What's that?
Oh, it's because of all the reasons that I talked about earlier. Because it's got that skeleton key, and it hooks into pain receptors. That's why it doesn't go away once you eat it. All right, let's do some tomatoes. And of course, every one of these have a sticker on them because that's how markets like to roll. And of course, now that I said that, that was... Oh, no. Okay, there was one other. Oddly enough, our tomatoes mostly come from Canada. Don't ask me why. Well, no, it's I don't know. It just strikes me as strange that Canada is exporting a large amount of tomatoes, of all things. I don't know. For some reason, I just find that odd. Like, I expect tomatoes to come from, like, the southern portion of the United States. Places where it generally tends to be warm. I don't really think of Canada as being, you know, a balmy place that tends to suit tomato growth. You know what I mean? Surprised you're rolling with red tomatoes and not the unbleached ones. With red as opposed to the unbleached... Oh. Well, you know. That's how it goes. Alright. So I'm just taking stem bits off and then the interior with the seeds and everything. I feel like I should get a spoon for that part. Make life a little bit easier. Okay. Anybody got any big plans this weekend? I think my plans involve taking a nap, watching the sumo tournament when it comes on. It is, yeah, I did see that. That's true. We totally could rate it. And then people could see kind of the craziness that I go on about. I would say, like, if you got tomatoes in your garden, use those. Like, honestly, like, the fresher, like, tomatoes, use what you got. It doesn't have to necessarily be, you know, something like this. If you happen to be growing heirloom varieties, that's cool, you know. Use what's tasting good, use what's in season. And that's really kind of the whole point. Okay. Get all the seeds out. Get them draining. Sorry, say that again? Magic the Gathering. Right on. Nice. I have to admit, there was, I don't know, this is maybe a year or two ago. I was kind of seeking out like box openings or booster pack openings from, you know, people that had found like unopened, like old school stuff like Legends and kind of earlier Beta, Unlimited, Revised, stuff like that. Opening it up, looking for, you know, some of the big cards and stuff like that. Because it was just kind of fun to watch them open up and be like, I remember those cards. Some varieties are, definitely. Not all of them. But I mean, well, if what you're talking about is like how they're shipped and everything, yes, they are definitely picked on the green side. Now what's funny is I've seen a tomato farmer, like, and this was on YouTube, and they were talking about their tomato stocks and, you know, what they did, and they were saying that tomatoes won't like ripen on the vine or something like that. There was a couple of things that they were saying which I was just like, what? That don't make no sense. But tomatoes, like most things, are picked while unripe in order to ship them because they're more resistant to damage. Because the riper something is, the more delicate it usually is. So, yeah, tomatoes tend to be on the green side. And there's a whole color grading system. Like, I forget what the names were. It was things like Breaker and stuff like that, depending on, like, how green the tomato was. But there definitely, I mean, there's absolutely a flavor change with the color change, but wholesale, like, produce distributors, what they'll do is they'll actually take tomatoes and put them in the same, like the same giant cooler with bananas because of the gas that bananas give off. I think it's ethylene, if I remember correctly. It causes the tomatoes to turn color and to turn red. Hey, Chubby Viking! Who should be home in, well, I should say back in the U.S. in the next, I think, month and a half. Something like that. What's going on, man? Oh, that's cool. The stuff that's in the colander, I will probably end up discarding, but I wanted to at least let it drain in order to collect that liquid and add it to the soup. So, okay, so tomatoes have been de-seeded. So let's cut a couple of these. So let's see. In order to get the kind of the nice pieces, like I'll take the ends off and stuff like that. I'm going to square up a couple of them. So that way I've got better pieces to work with. And then get everything else chopped up. One more. These are just doing nice cuts. Nice, even cuts. And it looks pretty. Yep, there we go. That will do for the pretty cuts. Now let's just get it in the blender. I'm not aiming for any kind of exactness, obviously. I'm just trying to chop them up a little bit just to make it a little bit easier when we go to blend it.
So I was talking to Tony Viking about, first meal.
Yeah.
Coming back to the States. So, what would be your first meal? You were out in the States for a couple of years.
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah.
Oh. Yes, chat.
I asked chat as well.
That is an interesting question. First meal back in the U.S. after a couple of years. Or back home, at least, I should say. I think I would want something familiar, something that maybe I haven't had in a long time.
Yeah, Tony Viking's saying, Mexican food, like horchata machine.
Oh, yeah, totally. Like, I know.
English.
Yeah, I totally get that. See, initially, I mean, my first, gut reaction is In-N-Out. Because that it's a taste of home is really what it is. And I'm not getting into a debate about whether or not, In-N-Out is any good, if Whataburger's better. That it's immaterial. It is a familiar taste that I love and I don't get very often. Because the closest one is a little over an hour away. And it's a pain. Thankfully, the lines aren't as bad as they used to be, but it's still an hour one way. So, it's like, I gotta have a good reason. Okay. Tomatoes in cucumber time. There we go. Oh. I don't need the giant one. Alright. Okay. Alright, so we're going to peel and seed the cucumber. Get that in. Okay. That's good. Down the middle. Sweeping curve. This one has quite a bit of seeds. That's a good question. So Mrs. Waiso asked, for those that may not have heard, why I don't just add them to the tomato seeds. Because cucumber seeds tend to be on the slightly bitter side, and I don't want that. Hey, Zodic, what's going on? Yeah, but the juice from all of that I want in the soup. The juice that would come from this, I don't want in the soup. Let's do some pretty cuts. Let's do that. Let's do the whole thing. Why not? But back to the question about first meal. Yeah, I mean, like I said, In-N-Out's kind of would be my number one answer. However, if I were in Japan, where I know for a fact there's some pretty excellent burgers and stuff like that, I maybe wouldn't have that kind of a jonesing. So I can absolutely see Mexican food being a high up on the list for me. Because, yeah, your boy here loves his Mexican food. Yeah, boy. It's one of those things that I could easily eat on a daily basis. I don't know if pizza would necessarily be on the list, only because, again, Japan's got there are a number. I mean, shoot, that pizza place here that is run by the Japanese gentleman. Yeah. So clearly it exists there, kind of thing. I don't know. Yeah, I can see definitely Mexican, or like a really good fried chicken, for instance. A good burger, yeah.
Mashed potatoes.
Okay, yeah, I get that. All right, so the cucumber's done, tomatoes are done, the pepper is done, red onion. The garlic clove is done. Still got to juice the lime.
So we might just have a real good pizza here that has potato slices and tomato on it.
Interesting. That sounds like something I'd like more information on. Lime juice in. This sucker rinsed because if not, you got it? Yeah. Okay. Thanks, baby.
We're a team.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Okay. Red onion time. What is it? Half cup?
Oh, it smells good in here. I can't smell it in the other room.
Can't smell.
The gazpacho,
Ah,
tomatoes, and cucumber.
gotcha. Let's do that. Okay, thank for the beauty cuts.
Money shot.
Money shot. We'll use those.
Hi.
Hi. You quality controlling?
Yes.
Good job.
Thanks. I had a lot of practice.
You're a helper.
I am a helper. Okay, so this you're going to blitz the liquid, and this we're going to add later so we have some chunks?
Yeah, well, it's going to get added to this. So we have chunks.
Yes, that's what I just said.
Sounded like you said it in reverse, though. You said we're going to add this to that.
After it's been blitzed, yes. It's the same
Sure.
thing. We're speaking the same language, only you don't realize it.
Ah! You're speaking it backwards!
Yes. Story of my life.
You're talking backwards, and it don't make logical sense. It hurts. It hurts. Okay. Okay.
It's thin strips of Japanese potato.
Oh, of Kewpie. Right on. You know what? I'm going to keep this out because I think I want red onion on my sandwich later. Okay. Jalapeno time, I think. And then, let's see. Balsamic, Worcestershire, cumin, salt, pepper. All right. So, let's see. There we go. There's cumin. Salt, pepper. All right, what is it? Teaspoon? Sure. Cumin, half teaspoon. That's about right. Black pepper. Balsamic. Was that 2 teaspoons, I think? Yeah. Go. We'll keep that around to adjust the taste. And Worcestershire. See if this lid decides to. Oh, it did decide to agree with me. This is.
Japanese potato spicy?
No. This is a batch of homemade Worcestershire sauce, if you've never seen the stream before. This was made October 8th of last year. And it's the last of it, because there was about a gallon. I need to make more. It's been a little while. Alright. Balsamic, Worcestershire, cumin, salt, pepper, lime juice. We need the olive oil and the jalapeno. Okay. So, jalapeno time. Now, historically, the jalapenos up here don't really have a bite to them. Historically. I will say, however, the last couple of times that I've purchased jalapenos, thinking, oh yeah, they're, pretty mild, no big deal. That was not the case. Suddenly they decided, hey, we've got a kick now. This is what we're doing. So, it's anybody's guess. Although I suppose. One moment. Processing. I was wishing that I had filled up a mug of water. That would be awesome. Because you like me. So it's got a little bit of a kick. I mean, it's not the worst, but, when you're not expecting it, it's like, oh, hello, you're there. So we'll do pretty cuts.
Yeah, they were talking about QP on pizza. I was just wondering, how is that different from...
We've had QP.
I know what it is.
Oh, you were asking for the general public. Okay.
Yeah.
So QP is...
We probably have some.
No, we don't actually. We're all out.
What?
I know. We did, but we're out.
We usually have some.
Although it's been a minute since I've been to the Japanese market. This is going to sound totally blasphemous to the QP fan folk.
Water.
Thank you. QP to me, there might be like a tinge of a mustard flavor to it, but it tastes like most normal mayos that you get at the market. Heresy, I know. I need a spelling on that. Spelling on what, Harkonnen? Kewpie. Okay, garnish is done. Salt and pepper and vinegar are handy in the event that we need it. Any more juice? Yes. So now that we've extracted what we need from this, that can go. Now we can get to blending. Okay. If you're wearing headphones, you might want to turn them down a bit. I do have a limiter on this, so in theory it shouldn't get terribly loud, but just as a warning, it's going to get a little loud, just so we're clear. Yeah, exactly. QP it's not bad, but I haven't tasted enough of a difference between it and the normal mayo that I would get at the market to justify the extra expenditure. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, mind your ears. So, fun fact, the music that was just playing in my head started out initially as the Wii weight room music, and then quickly morphed into the intermission music from Monty Python's Quest for the Holy Grail. Excellent question. No, there is no meat in the gazpacho. It is a straight-up liquid salad. Vegetation only. There will, however, be meat in the sandwiches, which we are about to get to. That's good. I like that. The jalapeno, like it comes through as just like a little uptick in warmth, but it doesn't spike at all. It's just like, oh. It literally just kind of wakes up the taste buds, which is nice. But, oh yeah. I just swallowed weird. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Into this. Okay. And that is going to go into the cooler with the ice cream. So then that way it will chill. Or at least I hope it will. Actually, I think I need to do a little bit of rearranging in here. Will say, however, the ice cream was sitting on top of the block, and the bottom at least has started to firm up pretty nicely. So. Okay. Oh, that's the soup. Okay. There we go. Towel packed on top. Okay, so that is good. That is insulated. That is ready to go. All right. Let's get this cleaned up and let's get to sandwich making. Okay. Darling, I believe now is when you can start that bacon.
All right.
And then we're going to need to get bread ready for toasting.
How many bacon? And I'm using this pan?
Yeah, use that pan. Since we don't want to turn the oven on because, like I said, it's been on the hot side.
It's been on the hot side until today.
Until today, because now it's all overcast and like 70. Although in the kitchen here, it's currently registering, I think, 77.
Okay, there's two types of bacon.
The open one.
Because we're nerds.
There you go. I would say like 4.
Okay. So I'll rinse.
You're rinsing?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Because it's my job. Woman's work. Woman's work.
Her words. Her words.
I'm just kidding.
I am just saying. Enjoy the lurk, Accidental Chaos.
You do more dishes than I do.
It is true. Okay. So the game plan for the sandwiches, which is easily the most boring portion of the meal, started out life as a bacon, avocado, tomato sandwich.
We call them bats.
We call them bats, for obvious reasons. But unfortunately, one cannot make a sandwich with just bacon. You can, but it's just not. It's not necessarily going to be the best for you. So, yesterday I went and took a couple of chicken titties and seasoned them up, and then sous vide them for about that is blasphemy. Sous vide them at 155 Fahrenheit for about an hour and a half, and then I chilled them and then brought them down. Harkonnen. I said one could, however, one didn't necessarily say that one should.
Should what?
Make a sandwich completely out of bacon.
Yes.
Yeah. No, totally. Please.
We usually have that.
We usually do, but this is a main for dinner, and I wanted to bulk it up a little bit. Thus, the reason for the chicken titties. They used to have bacon sandwich all the time. Yes, they should. So, if all you want to use is bacon, please use bacon. I afford everybody the right to make their own decisions and live their lives in a way that makes sense to them. If all bacon sandwiches is what makes sense to you, then you have my blessing. Not that you need it. I'm just saying.
My cholesterol can handle it.
Her cholesterol can handle it.
My cholesterol's great.
How's your sodium?
Fine.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought you were told to lower it.
That's because the doctor is stumped.
Okay. So apparently Mrs. Hueso can have all bacon sandwiches. I probably should not.
No, my sodium levels are fine. He doesn't want me eating high sodium all the time, which I don't.
No, we don't have high
We
sodium all the
rarely
time.
have high sodium.
It is.
When was the last time we even had bacon?
A
A week or more?
Yeah, probably.
We eat pretty healthy. And my other doctor was
Overall.
like, "You're healthy."
So, anyways, I'm gonna slice up a chicken titty so then that way we can add them and kind of bulk up that sandwich. Gonna slice up the red onion, and because I have it, and because I like using it, and it also makes Mrs. Hueso cringe a little bit, I'm gonna use my mandolin
Yes.
for very thin slices. My Benriner. There it is. Benriner vegetable slicer. With the blade that you can pull out and actually sharpen. I mean, I don't do all bacon sandwiches off. I typically do something else on. Yeah, exactly. And that's what we're doing. We're just, think of it as like it's a chicken and bacon. With some other stuff. So, anyways. Very, very thin onion slices.
And I'm not watching. As we immediately shut the stream down and run to the hospital, I am going to say, I told you so.
And that is a time when I will absolutely be okay with you saying I told you so. But given the fact that
You haven't yet.
I haven't yet,
I haven't really complained.
just every time I use it on stream.
Don't do this at home, kids.
There we go. Let's see. Get out an avocado.
More tomato.
More tomato. Tomato I'll slice up by hand. This, however, all runs off.
I haven't fried bacon in a pan in a long time.
It has been a very long time.
I usually cook it in the oven.
Yeah. I don't know if you heard her, but normally we do bacon in the oven and bake it. It's just, usually
the
a
goal
significant...
was to not turn the oven on
Yeah, because the goal is not to turn the oven on
today.
today.
Which is hilarious, because it's not that warm today.
Yeah. So we got slices o tomate. avocado. Not gonna lie, I'm a little concerned.
Why?
Well, when I popped the stem bit off, it looked like there was a little bit of mold on the underside there.
Oh,
And then around the back side here, it looks like it was a little caved in.
we could use these little tomatoes.
Oh, no, that's good. No, I was talking about the avocado.
Oh, there's a half in the fridge.
Oh, is there?
There was. Yeah. Fun dealy. I learned this on the internet, but if you put an avocado, half an avocado with its little seed in the center with onion, it won't, in a bag like this, it won't turn. And it seems to work pretty good. That was 2 days ago when I cut that open.
I don't know if anybody was paying attention, but when I was slicing these, my knife, if you noticed, I was holding it perfectly still, and I was literally moving the avocado. Just a little pro tip there for you. Let's see, what else do we want? Oh!
Eaten anything today?
Yes. I have, in fact, eaten.
I don't think I've seen you eat today.
While you were eating your breakfast, I grabbed some leftover pizza from last night.
Which was delicious.
It was. It really hit the spot. I'm gonna do some green pepper slices for the sandwich.
I don't want any green pepper.
Okay. Do you want anything else?
Tomato.
That's already sliced.
I don't know.
I was thinking about putting pickles on mine.
Ooh, it bit me. I can't think of anything else.
Cheese?
Processing. I don't know. The concept of cheese on a bat, but why not? We have sliced little nuggets.
That's true, we do. There's mayo. Okay. Mayo out, mustard out, cheese out. That's good to go. Need to slice up some chicken titties. And we should toast bread. That's why I pulled the pan.
Oh, and I put the pan back in because
Because you were being a helper.
if I'm standing in the kitchen, I start working. You know, woman's work.
Her words.
I haven't seen what Jeff says. Some friends I used to hang out with always like, woman's work. Did the vacuum sealed bag was the chicken?
Yes.
Well, Pickle was asking. I don't know if
Oh yeah, the vacuum sealed bag.
because he sous vide'd it.
Yes.
How crunchy do you want your bacon? This is about done for me.
Then I would say just pull it all out.
I don't like my bacon super crunchy. No judgment if you love it that way. I support you in that. I'm going to turn the pan off and let carryover cooking do its thing.
Okay.
Because food will still cook even though you turn the fire off. So that's how a friend of mine was like, oh my gosh, your eggs are amazing. I'm all, it's because I turned the pan off and just let them finish. If you wait till they're totally done, they get overcooked.
This is gonna go small cutting boards.
Coat it in brown sugar and then put that bacon in burgers. Interesting. Coat the bacon in brown sugar.
Yep. Making bacon candy. Interestingly enough, I was actually looking at a recipe. I think it was yesterday for carrot bacon, is what they were calling it.
Carrot bacon?
Yeah, they were calling it carrot bacon, only because it was really thinly sliced, marinated in like soy sauce, a little bit of liquid smoke, like garlic and onion powder, and a few other things. And then it was marinated for just a few minutes and then laid out on a cookie sheet and then baked until it started to curl up, which sounded really interesting. And I'm tempted to give it a try because I thought that two things. One, it sounded like kind of an interesting snack. And two, it also sounded like something that would be interesting on a sandwich. So, it was just a thought. Okay, so chicken titty that has been in the bag. Seasoning wise, I put some of my seasoned salt on it, and then pixie dust. So those are the only seasonings that were on there.
By seasoned salt, you mean no salt, right? Or is it salt with your seasoned salt?
It was my seasoning salt and pixie dust.
Gotcha.
So yes, there's salt.
Yes, I knew there would be.
Sorry, but it sounded like your question was, wait, there's no salt? No salt. No salt on the margarita.
I'll burn this place to the ground.
And I'm kind of thinking, let's slice this on the diagonal bias. Because that will yield us,
Yummy goodness.
well, kind of bigger, better slices.
There, dishwasher unloaded and then loaded.
Nice.
Boom. And bacon's done.
Nice.
I'm a keeper.
Yes, you are. Would you keep an eye on the bread?
Sure. And I washed dog food bowls for you.
Oh, sweet.
I'm a good wife. Well, because I'm a good wife, I'll feed these for you. Since you've been cooking all that.
It's true. Chicken?
Sure. Excellent.
One of Mrs. Wesa's favorite deli meats is a cracked pepper turkey breast.
Yes.
And
With cheddar cheese?
that's her jam. That's her thing.
So, yes, I want cheddar cheese on this.
But the whole reason why I just brought that up was because when I seasoned up the chicken tits here,
Yeah, you did it very similar fashion.
I tried to do it in a similar fashion, so then that way it had that kind of peppery outside to it, and would be reminiscent of that for her.
And it is. It's very good.
I'm a keeper.
Yes, you are. Here, I was going to show. This is the bread we're using.
Even when I make ice cream that explodes all over the place.
Yes.
Used to have a cracked pepper chicken at the place I get my deli meats, but they stopped carrying it. I'm very sad, boy, with that knowledge. Oh, dude. Well, oh yeah. So the bread that we're using is a sourdough with roasted garlic in it. It's just from the Winco.
It used to be less than $2, but
Yeah,
Now
it's now
it's-
$3.38. The other thing is this loaf is also really narrow. Like, it didn't rise and get the big dome that it normally does, which is kind of odd. None of them were like that.
interesting.
Yeah, I went through literally all the loaves, and none of them.
Yeah, we found it's actually cheaper to buy the freshly baked bread than the other bread,
Yeah.
which is so crazy. You'd think it'd be the other way around, but... And this garlic sourdough, when it's toasted, is fantastic. I'm doing a second round.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, because it wasn't very toasty.
Okay. Everybody, I'd like to mark the time in history right now. Mrs. Wesa, when it comes to toasted bread, tends to like it on the just starting to turn brown phase. Like just that is her normal standard go-to. Anyways, the fact that she's like, oh, it needs more toasting is like jaw drop, eyes bulge out, full on cartoon kind of thing.
I don't want my bread so stiff that it hurts my teeth to eat it. But it needs to have some color. And it needs to have a crunch, too.
Yeah.
If it's too soft, it doesn't crunch.
I got mustard because mustard sounded good for this. And this is a good mustard. So
We used to get a great Heinz mustard, but this mustard is fantastic.
The Heinz mayo.
The Heinz mayo, but...
Yeah, but the Heinz mayo you cannot find for whatever reason. So that used to be my go-to, but
Thank you, Conan.
I was able to get this blue plate stuff. I have actually grown to like quite a bit. So toasted bread should have a nice golden color. Any blackened's been overdone. Yes, it is. Black is burnt. We don't want burnt.
How toasted do you want yours? Here's mine.
Well, that's probably about right.
Don't drop it. It is slightly toasted, but it's a sourdough. Again, I don't want it rock hard, so. But it's more toasted than it looks like on stream. Just trust us.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I was just verifying the slide. So, okay, this is one of my little quirks. Is if I'm pulling bread out of a loaf and the slices are next to each other and I'm using them for a sandwich, I toast them in such a way so then that way they perfectly come back together. Because having slices backwards is all D to D, and I hate that.
And knowing that he hates that, I made sure I gave him 2 pieces of bread that matched up.
Well, I intentionally chose the 2 smaller pieces for you because you usually prefer a smaller sandwich.
It's true. Mayo.
Thank you.
And now we're making sandwiches.
Like I said, probably the most boring part of the stream.
Maybe. Channel my Bob Ross. 2 hairs and some air.
Yeah.
2 hairs and some air. You aren't weird, Decay. I match my bread slices too. See? Our Conan agrees.
There you go. I mean, if it was from like a, they're called Pullman loaves. They're the perfectly square loaves of bread. Like if it's 2 random slices in there, it's no big deal because they're all the same, you know?
Do you guys like avocado sandwiches?
I want pickles.
You did say that earlier.
I did say that.
I'm mashing the avocado onto the bread. Ooh, this is a lot of avocado. But it's good for you. This half is about 77 grams. Yes, I have weighed it before. Which is not many calories. An avocado is full of yumminess. Yummy goodness. I like to mash it on the bread a little bit so it stays put and doesn't slide everywhere when you're eating. Finger licking good.
There we go.
Whew.
I don't know, puppy.
That looks beautiful. Oh, okay. Harkonen's not a big avocado guy. I get that.
And that's fine.
Yeah, totally fine. I wasn't either until I met this man and his family who has an avocado tree in the backyard. And now, oh my gosh, I love avocado. But I grew up under a rock when it came to food. My mom did the best she could.
Yeah.
I'll leave my son there. I'll be right back.
Okay. Well, we also need to, yeah. Doing this right now, mashing the avocado on, kind of makes me feel like I need to have a pumpkin spice latte, a puffy vest, and some Uggs. Okay. A little bit of extra, but that's all right. I do want a bit of salt and pepper. Because I always feel like avocado benefits from it. It's like, even though, there's the bacon on there and there's everything else, like, I always just, I don't know, I always feel like it benefits from it. So, bacon slice numero uno. Ha ha ha. Bacon slice numero dos. And tres. Chicken titty slice numero uno. Dos. And tres. Okay. Alright. Meat portion done. Onions on there. I like sandwich. Tomato slices. That's good. And because I went to all the trouble, I think I'm going to leave them off. My sandwich, I'll do what I want. I think I'm good without the cheese, actually. There's my sandwich. Meanwhile, little girl's losing it for some reason. Clearly. Nope. Of course, it's literally just somebody walking by.
Old lady doesn't even have a dog. Life's better with a dog.
I agree.
Would you cut my sandwich on the diagonal?
Yes.
Thanks.
Would you get some cheeps?
Cheeps. Cheeps. I got chips.
Thank you. So if you would hook me up with some chips, I'll get some bowls.
Today we're going with sour cream and onion Lay's.
Because why not?
Mm-hmm. My favorite ones are the ones that are folded in half. Hey, what are you doing? Go on, eat it. Eat it and scoot. I dropped a hunk of cheese on the floor and Jay's at my feet trying to eat it. Like, do it already.
That is his superpower, of course.
Yeah. He's always hungry.
Little girl, this is basil. I'm not feeding you basil. Although, apparently you're going to try and eat it. I dropped it.
Hold it.
Excuse me, girl.
What's your favorite chip with a sandwich? Do you have a favorite chip? I think sour cream and onion is my new favorite. It was a barbecue for a long time, but... Hey, Windeer!
Hey, what's going on, Windeer? I will say...
You should show everybody your big fatty.
I will. I will show them the fatty. I usually prefer like a kettle cooked plain chip with mine, to be honest. No, I love these chips. You made a good choice. I'm just saying that usually that's what I reach for. Alright. So let's dry that up a little bit. And get the knife that I just washed. Because now we need to... Got 4 basil leaves here. Because I don't need a ton of it. And I just got them nested in each other. And because they've got that natural kind of curve to it, it's helpful to just, roll them up. Just like that. And get them on the board. And just... And that's a chiffonade. That's it. That's all there is to it. I'm thinking the gazpacho is going to be just fine. And one of those tons. Yeah. Okay. The only problem with not having used a specific ladle in a while, and if you've been, say, frying stuff at the stove, is that it tends to get a little bit of shrapnel on it. Just mixing that up a little bit in order to mix up all the pretty cuts down there in the bottom. Gazpacho. Okay. Gazpacho with chiffonade of basil on top. That's ready to go. So I figured we'll hang off on ice cream until the end. Oh, snap. Oh, nice. I'm glad to hear your koozie got there, Lumpy Pickle. That's awesome. Okay. You know what? We're going to take a super quick break. I want to clean this up a little bit, and then we'll be back to eating stuff. It'll be super quick. It won't be like maybe a minute or two. So, hold up. We'll see in just a moment.
Hello, boys and ghouls. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? DK's making a snack today. Shove it right into your mouth. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? Is he making it for me? DK's making a snack today. It's time for tactical snacking with DK. Making a snack today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? DK's making a snack today. Shove it right into your mouth. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? Is he making it for me? DK's making a snack today. It's time for tactical snacking with DK. Making a snack today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? DK's making a snack today. Shove it right into your mouth. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? Is he making it for me? DK's making a snack today. It's time for tactical snacking with DK. Making a snack today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? DK's making a snack today. Shove it right into your mouth. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? Is he making it for me? DK's making a snack today. It's time for tactical snacking with DK. Making a snack today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? DK's making a snack today. Shove it right into your mouth. DK's making a snack today.
Yay!
And we're back. Ooh, I need frosty beverage. I need
Brought
that.
chairs so we can eat.
Yes. Another free find.
Yeah. Our neighbors were going to throw these away.
And they're in great condition.
And
I can see the screen.
God, I'm too little. Here's my sandwich.
I too am also back. Oh, welcome back, Accidental Chaos. So, I'm going to tuck in on the gazpacho.
Smells good. let's give it a fair taste. Not Lay's potato chip taste.
We already know how you feel about the chips.
I like the chips. That's pretty good. And it's not bland. Mm. That's excellent. No.
It's not as chilled as I'd like it to be. Because normally gazpacho is something that is supposed to be served pretty chilled. But it's good stuff.
Sandwich is excellent.
Yeah.
They are good. Excellent chaos. These sandwiches are excellent.
Mm.
We usually just do straight up bacon and avocado, but
The addition of this chicken was a good call on my part.
yes, it was.
Mm.
I just fed you. Paper towel?
Mm-hmm. You know as well as I do, Jane is always hungry.
Yeah. What are you guys having for dinner? Or breakfast, wherever you're at in this part of the world? Your next meal, whatever it may be, what are you having? The gazpacho is good. It's got... I think the Vitamix made it a little foamy.
Yeah.
Will the foam dissipate over time?
Yes. Mm. Sandwiches. I will say that,
Ooh,
like,
pizza.
who's said pizza?
Here, Mom.
We had pizza last night and got it from our normal place. However, this one got a coupon for a buy one get one free from there.
Yeah.
So we're like, yes, please. And the get one free was only like a medium one topping, but we're like, we'll eat it.
It's free.
And
We'll just snack on it for a few days, you know?
yeah. Well, typically we order like a pepperoni, onion, and mushroom pizza. That's just what we go for. And we enjoy it. So for the medium one topping, we just got straight pepperoni. And I don't know, man, that just regular pepperoni,
It was
like,
fantastic.
it hit in a way that,
Like, we need to do that more often.
yeah,
anyway.
like, yeah, it was really odd. Like our normal pepperoni and mushroom just didn't have the same kind of impact that the regular pepperoni did. It was really odd. I almost, part of me wonders if the cheese was a little bit different. And the only reason why I say that is because I remember eating, our normal pizza last night. It's like, okay, yeah, it's good, and there it is. But I remember the cheese on the pepperoni just there was something else like there. There was more flavor to it.
Maybe it was just fresher, or...
It might have been.
I don't know, but... Yeah, it just... That pepperoni was just crazy. Way better. Yeah. That's what we thought. Like, hey, it's a coupon. Why not? So, I think we have one more coupon. Oh, but the coupon's for,
Euros.
Euros from the same place.
The restaurant is run by an Indian family. And I guess they started in New York, but then moved here for whatever reason. And so, like, they've got like a Punjabi special on there, which I think is a pizza with chicken tikka masala on it.
We need to try that.
Dang, Jane.
He's like, I smell something. The female always drops stuff.
Mm.
Good job with the chicken. We haven't had sandwiches like this in a long time.
Yeah.
And chicken's good for you. I mean, chicken breast.
Low fat, high protein.
Mm-hmm. And the bacon, 2 pieces, is, only 160 calories. So that's nice.
Hi, Jane. I don't think he's on camera.
Mm-mm.
Oh, he's barely on camera.
Yeah. If I sit, she'll feed me.
There's a thing of snacks right there.
Ooh, good girl. She caught it.
Well done, little girl.
My Dr. Pepper still has a little frozen ball at the bottom.
Well, I'm super hopeful about the ice cream.
Yeah.
Money shot!
Started off with a bang.
Oh, man.
What did Pickle say? Sublimation. Sublimation is real.
Sublimation occurs exponentially and
That's
rapidly or something.
right.
Oh man, it totally nailed the knives.
Yeah. Sorry, you can't see, but there's like knives with splatter. You should take a picture and post it.
Or you could just hold it up to the
I
camera.
could just hold it up to the camera, but let's see.
Down. So it's actually in the light.
It isn't like I just there. Now you can see like the spots here and oh, you feel it like it's this knife's filthy.
It was clean.
Yeah. The saber. There. Now you can see all the dirt from the exploding ice cream. Oops.
Somehow this suddenly feels like the knife show on the Home Shopping Network.
Now, brought to you by Victorinox.
Victorinox?
Yeah, Victorinox. This is the chef's knife. I don't know what they go for price now. They used to only be like $20, but in today's world, who knows?
I think the 8-inch chef's knife, last time I looked, was like 45 or 50. It's been a while though.
Oh, good. Accidental Chaos got the knife for his dad for Father's Day.
Nice.
Yeah, this is a fantastic knife. As a matter of fact, like if we're invited to a wedding or something, this is usually the knife we give. If we go the knife route.
Yeah.
But it's lightweight, it's inexpensive. I mean, in comparison to super expensive knives. And we have the boning knife, the paring knife, the slicing knife in the same brand.
Granton slicer.
Granton slicer?
Yeah, these little divots. It's a Granton edge is what it's called. And it reduces the surface. So when you're slicing through things like, chicken, anything that'll stick to it.
Yeah.
Because it's
less surface.
Less surface area, then it, won't stick to it quite as much. That's a breaking saber. Yeah.
Yeah, this chef's knife was given to me.
True.
So I can learn how to use a knife. And now I'm pretty competent.
Hi, Jane.
Part of me wants to skip the ice cream now.
You want to skip the ice cream?
Skip to the ice cream. No.
Oh. Skip to the ice cream.
Skip ice cream.
That's why I was concerned. I'm like, wait.
Who even are you?
Those words together do not exist in your normal vocabulary. Skip ice cream. As if. Are you getting like scoops and stuff?
I got the scooper. Are we just gonna eat out of the container?
I was gonna say, just grab a couple of spoons.
That's the spirit. I don't know. Sometimes you want to go all out on the stream.
At this point in time, with the way that the ice cream went earlier, I was like, screw it.
You're just grateful.
Okay, hang on. When you take the lid off, make sure you show it to the camera. Money shot, baby. You gotta always
I'm
think
not
about
done
money
eating,
shot.
just so we're clear, but I don't want to eat at the speed of light just for 10 minutes later. I prefer to eat slower.
Put the underside of the lid.
It's all of the above. It could be money shot for someone.
Okay, do me a favor. Give me a
One of my favorite things to do is eat the ice cream that's under the lid.
Okay, yeah, because the stuff at the bottom is definitely firmer.
Oh, yeah. So tomorrow, this will be even better.
Yeah. Yeah, the stuff at the bottom is still pretty firm.
And the stuff at the top is not. But we can try a bite right now. That's really good.
It is really good.
Should I put this on an actual freezer now?
Yeah. I don't know if there's room in there. You can look, but I doubt it.
No. Stop. Yep. Woo!
Good job.
Oh, that's really good. You did a good job.
Thank you.
That's the first time you did ice cream like that.
Now, as evidenced by the explosion.
Yeah. Okay, good. I'm gonna go sit down at an actual table.
Well, I know you were also a little concerned about the flavor. Because, when I was talking to Mrs. Weso earlier about the flavor of it, I was just like, I was thinking maybe raspberry and peach and strawberry.
Yeah.
And there was apprehension in her voice, which is completely understandable because...
Well, mixing all those doesn't necessarily equate yumminess.
Well, she is very cautious when it comes to these kinds of things.
But I've learned to take adventure bites.
Yes. But I, however, was actually confident in the combination. Not only because I cross-referenced the fruits in that flavor Bible.
Well, and I didn't argue with you.
Yeah. You did, however, give me a tilted, raised eyebrow.
But I didn't argue. I've learned to not argue.
So. I got a happy tummy.
Yeah. I'm gonna go finish sitting down.
Yeah. I was about to say, I'm like, this is probably a good stopping point.
Agreed.
And, yeah. So, what all did we learn today, kids? Hey, Echoes of Ash. Yes, I had exploding ice cream. When you go back to watch the VOD, oh, it's going to be a good one. Hey, focus. The webcam's like, huh? Go home, webcam, you're drunk. There you are. Yes, the ice cream, we made it with dry ice, and I had it in my stand mixer. It decided to explode. It made a pretty good mess. We paused the stream in order to clean up after the fact. So it was a pretty... Yeah, it has not cut off early enough. Yeah. But it was pretty dang funny. It was pretty dang funny. So that's definitely on the list of things that we learned today, was when making ice cream in this particular fashion with the dry ice, make sure that the dry ice is in fact in that granular sand texture. That was number one. Number two, mix it in a very large bowl, significantly larger than what you think you need, because of that rapid expansion. Using a metal whisk as opposed to a stand mixer also sounds like a very good idea. That way it, in theory, won't violently explode everywhere. So that was the thing. Gazpacho came out great. Sandwich came out great. So not much learning there, but it was all about that ice cream. It's got a great flavor, but we're going to leave it in the freezer to set up. And it's, okay, so it's 7:09 for us, which means that, let's see. Oh, Andy's on. Oh, we're going to have to go raid Andy then, because he's Mr. Party. He's the gentleman that wrote the jingle for me. Let's... Oh, come on. And boop. There we go. Yeah. So we're gonna go raid him. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Is he the vocalist? So Harkonnen, he does some vocals for Unleash the Archers. He doesn't do all of the vocals. So Brittany slays the lead singer. Absolutely phenomenal voice. I would arguably say one of the very best voices in modern metal. Easily up there. The kind of the growls that you hear in the song, the kind of the high pitch, that kind of thing, that's going to be Grant. The clean vocals are usually going to be Andy, who by himself actually has a great voice too. So, eminently familiar. Yeah, exactly. But yes, no, he did the vocals in the jingle too. He wrote it, performed it, sang it. That was all him. Let's see. There he is. And it looks like, yep, Saturday Night Party. Oh, good times. I wonder, oh, hang on. Curious. Okay, he is playing through the Immortal Saga, it sounds like. He was wearing kind of a gingham shirt, and it kind of bangers and mash in my tongue. Nice. It kind of sounded like from the way he looked without the sound, it kind of made it look like he was going to be playing some of his country music, which, if that's the case, is fantastic. I'm literally every single one of Grand Streams. Okay, there you go, Harkonnen. Okay, fair enough. But, yeah, so we'll go raid Andy, and Yeah, so thank you everybody for coming and hanging out and watching the mishaps and the good times and how we roll with the mishaps, because that's, that's what it's all about. That's real cooking, folks. That's not edited for TikTok or YouTube or whatever. That's, we're cooking real time. We're, experimenting, trying things, that are new, and sometimes they work perfectly, sometimes they don't, and that's okay. Thank you so much, Lumpy Pickle. Thank you to Red Kid, Mini Ninja, and Baby Girl for the follows. Thank you to Avocado Cream KitchenAid for the resub. Thank you to everybody that was here active in chat, and thank you to the lurkers. Big thank you to the lurkers for coming and hanging out and just, chilling. I appreciate you being here, and it's all good. I appreciate you just hanging out. So to everybody, I say have yourself a wonderful evening. Yeah, definitely watch the VOD. I'm thinking what I might end up doing is when I go to download the VOD and kind of edit it together, I think I might edit together a specific explosion clip and put it together, maybe with some slow-mo or something like that. It'll be a good time. So, at any rate, have yourselves, like I said, a wonderful evening. Let's get this thing set up. Oh, first, though, let's put in the raid message. So there's the raid message. There's Andy. And, okay. Let's go raid that magnificent man. And I will catch you all on Tuesday. Have yourself a great evening, rest of your weekend, morning, whatever. Love y'all. Take care, folks.
Hello, boys and ghouls.